Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D4X today. That's a 2D4X post-apocalyptic game. I was looking at that. I usually like to try to start out with not just a page of code right there, but there it was. Um, it's a 2D4X game, and it's post-apocalyptic. Blah blah blah. I do this every time, and I don't want to. So. We're just going to jump into it. Yesterday, I worked on, well, we can hit play, I suppose, and wait patiently. Is this going to happen again where my messages don't come through? Oh, you don't need to see Discord over here. It's supposed to send a message to my Discord that I started streaming, and it hasn't done it. There's always something at the beginning of our stream. Anyways, yesterday we can assign oh, we got a bug. All right, let's fix this bug. What is it? What do you want? Generate hero list. Oh. All right, well, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine. But it is fine. We can fix this. I'm just going to post a test on here. Make sure that I can see chat here because lately it's not been working. Yeah, it's not getting over to YouTube for some reason. I don't know why. And there we go. Now I'm going to go back to YouTube. This is going to be like a daily occurrence. Test 2W. Now let's see here. All right, I can see it all. Perfect. So this is generate. Why were we doing? I wonder why we were setting this county data to currently selected county, generate hero panel list. Okay, you know what we can do? This isn't that bad of a problem. What we could do is all of these will fail. Basically what I did yesterday, and I guess this error came up. This is not an unusual thing, is the next time I start streaming there's some bug that I never noticed. So what's happening is when we assign that, it needs to regenerate this list over here that isn't open right now. But when it's open, this checkbox will work. So what we need to, oh, there, it finally got its act together, but it didn't post it on my thing. What the fuck, man? Why does nothing, well, it didn't post it over there either. All right, well, I guess everything's working. Anyways, except if this is invisible, this doesn't work. So what we need to do is put in here, what is this? The county info panel. So we need to do this probably. If we got to type though correctly, county info. Actually, if this is visible equals true, then do this stuff. It's just this. I think this will work. It might cause other issues, unexpected issues. All right. So this is saved. Let's do this again. We only care if that thing's visible. And then we're not going to click on that. Research. Basic research. Assigned. Samuel Rodriguez. No bug there. Let's close this now and then click on this. And now we have broken this. Oh, all right, let's do that again. Yesterday was too easy. Everything worked perfectly. Go back to this. Go back to this. Go to this. So whenever things work perfectly, I always get like suspicious. So I'm clicking on this and we're missing our thing. There should be a hero here, but I bet you if I click it again, yeah. So what's happening is this isn't running, because the thing isn't visible yet, but the second time it becomes visible. So we need to basically, how do we do this? We take this away. This goes back to, whoops, K, Control D. We'll get rid of this thing. We'll go back to, where is this? Find this. Joker, how's it going? I don't know why I said your name that way. Joker! What we do is on this thing, we just do that same thing. If control, what is that thing called? County info control dot instance visible equals true, then we do this thing. We just had this in the wrong spot. And then craft dinner. What's up with everyone doing the chicken dinner thing? I don't know what it is. Like I kind of now feel for my parents when they, when I would be talking slang when I was a kid. All right, we don't get that bug anymore. All right, that fixed it. When I would be talking slang as a kid and they would be like, "We don't understand what you're saying. We don't get those references." Now I kind of feel for them because I understand. I just can't keep up, I'm not hooked in to the vein of slang or emojis. I never know an emoji. People send me emojis and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I was discussing something about a bug in a mod on a Discord with someone, with the mod creators, and he replied with a GIF that I did not understand, so I just stopped talking. I didn't even ask what it meant or anything, and I just gave up on the whole conversation and just left their Discord. Okay, this is fixed. Back to my initial thing here. All right, so what we got to do is make it so that people can stop research. And I think this will be good. So the idea here, let's start this again so I can show what I mean here. Now that we fixed that initial bug. So we set somebody to research here. Sarah Green is now our researcher. We can see that Sarah Green is researching basic research. And we can close this. We can go to here. Sarah Green has this little thing, shows that she's researching. We'll use this to uncheck it and it will stop the research. But the problem with that is, right now that doesn't work, but the problem with that is that if, let's say, you accidentally assign somebody right here, you got to go all the way back to here, and then you got to find this person. Let's say you had a bunch of counties, you'd be like, oh, where is that person? And then you got to uncheck them. So I think the thing that we want to do is first, we'll make this work. But I think what we want to do is turn this actually into a, well, it won't be a button, but we'll stick a checkbox next to it. And we'll just uncheck, you can uncheck it from here and it will clear it. So let's actually do it from here first because, well, there's two things. We don't want to have duplicate code because I'm lazy and I don't want to fucking have to edit two different code blocks if I change one. And I want these checkboxes to do the same thing. Like, so let's put this code somewhere where they can interact with the code. And then I was also thinking before I started streaming here, I was going to stick when people research its work so that their actual research will be accumulated and, things will be done here. But maybe I should have this doesn't work. Great. Maybe I should have a separate one for research just to try to it'll just be easier to find. So let's add a node in here. I think the whole reason this is organized this way is because I have a hard time finding shit. So I just put it all over here and we'll just call this research and we'll put this right here and then we'll attach a script, new script. And I guess we'll call it research. Everything's called research at this point. And this is going to be a UI. No, this is not a UI. This is just a, a thing. A thing. We are going to want ready in here because we're going to be doing instance. Maybe we don't want this. Maybe we don't want this attached to a node now that I think about it. Because every faction is going to be doing it. We don't want to have every faction accessing the same instance, or do we? Do we give a shit? Let's do it this way for now, but I have a feeling we're going to change this. But we'll have we'll use the same script, if regardless of if we might have to change like that it's a node or something, but it'll be fine. So I think what we'll do then, oh, except we're gonna have to have a signal connect to this, which actually is fine. That's fine, I think. So let's put this checkbox thing that we're generating. Let's look at this. I might already have it open. No, I think it's just a label. UI scenes, though. It's called. Yeah, it's only, well, I don't want to have to write my own signal code. And while I was talking, I was in my brain, I was like, do I even remember how to do that? And I don't, but we'll figure it out. Assign researcher button. So this is a button. And the reason why I want this to be a button is so that when you click on it, it will open up another, it will open up the research that you're actually researching. So back to this thing, if you go to here and you click on this, it would open up the research this person's researching. So once again, so it's just easier to find if you're like Sarah Green's researching basic researching, because we want to use researching as much as possible. We're going to have that. Maybe we should do that first. No, we'll come back to that. Let's make sure that's on the list, though. I don't think it is. Clicking on a researching hero in the research panel should bring up the research they are researching. There we go. I've said that word a lot lately. Okay. That's all right. These are like basically the same thing. This is just a more vague description. So let's go back to this thing, this button, and we need to put a checkbox at the end of it. And then, you know, what was funny is when I started the game earlier, right before I started streaming, I was like, wait, why am I using a check thing here and a checkbox here? And I guess we're going to stick with checkbox instead of a, yeah. Yes, we're going to stick with a check box, I guess. So check box instead of a check button. And then can we make this thing? I think I need like a control on top of this or something. I probably do. So let's put a control on top of this thing. We'll make this the root thing. We'll make this here. But then we're going to need a fucking H box or whatever they're called. H box. Horizontal box, sure. Then we're going to put this up here. I'm going to put this right here. Oh, look, we got part of it over there. That's interesting. We need, so then if in here, that actually kind of I kind of like that that looks like that. What does that actually look like though in my... This is gonna break because this is no longer a button. This is a control. Uh, I don't know, can I? It has a control inside. Again, delete this thing. Looks like I can. Um, all right, let's see. I want to see what this looks like. Can I put it? Where does the text go? No, I don't want that. This is gonna break though, because this isn't a button anymore. We are instantiating that somewhere. Let's get rid of that. Assign reacher. No, it's not that button. I can't remember what it's called. Description panel. Research button. Generate assigned research. Here's it. Yeah, this is now what was it? HBox container. And this is an HBox. No. Stop. HBox. And then this is gonna be busted, huh? Because we need to get the child. That's okay. We gotta fix this button up here though. Or no, we don't, because that's a packed scene. That's fine. So we need to get the text that's below it. So this research button thing. Yeah, well, I'm not going to do any get children because I don't like that shit. What we're going to do instead is we're going to go over here. We're going to have a new script, and this is going to be assigned researcher HBox container. It's right there. UI scenes. No. This is going to go into UI scripts. And then, yes, more exports definitely. We don't need a ready on this. Basically, all this thing is going to have in it is an export, public, HBox container, no, button. We're gonna have another checkbox, another thing for a checkbox in here, so we might as well put it. Button, assigned researcher button, and then we're gonna go export. This checkbox is gonna have to do something at some point, so checkbox, assigned researcher checkbox assigned. Do we have both of those? I got a button, got a checkbox. Oh, button button. There we go. A button. All right, so now that that's there, we got to build this thing, and see, you do one change, you got to do like 12 different things, and I just wanted to look to see how this looked, because this could look like dog shit. Cannot explicitly convert this, because we got to get out of here. We have too much shit open. Close some of this stuff. We might need that. We hopefully won't need that. We don't need the map editor right now. It is mad because we have this thing dragged over here, I think. Oh, it's mad because I got this text typed in. Can I just comment this out temporarily? Temporarily. Does it do a similar thing? I mean, all right, we're gonna put this over here. Well, I was talking about the C plus. I hate when it won't let you do this and you gotta go from here. Uh, this one's just called checkbox though. There we go. And we'll, oh, this is all, everything's wrong now. Assigned researcher H box. I was talking about where I was messing around with, whoops, with the GD script, and I went to go build it, and there was no build button, and I was like, oh, I guess you don't have to build it in GD script, which is, I guess, one bonus of using GD script, that it just, you don't have to do that. We're gonna rename this thing too, and HBox container. All right, where are we at here? Something's busted somewhere. Let's go back to our research control. These are all here. Let's build this again just to make sure if anything falls out here, we'll, description. It would be, everything's here. All right, let's hit play and watch things break. So I just wanted to see what this button looked like. We're gonna need two heroes though, because I want to see what they look like next to each other. So we're gonna assign a hero here, and we're going to go to our research here. John Smith at the weapon shop. What's going on, John Smith? We gotta get rid of that guy. That was a test thing. Let's get rid of this. He wasn't causing problems before, but it looks like he does now. He is under our research control. And there he is. Oh, he's like an old version. You know what his problem is? No? This is fine. He probably didn't have that stuff dragged in because he was old. Bumblebite, how's it going? How was the stuff you were working on yesterday? Were you able to finish that? Okay, this is back to normal now. So let's assign, oh wait, we gotta have a second one. Maybe that was the problem, is that there was two of them. I don't know how much we tested that. All right, no problems there. We go to research, there's nothing here. No problem. I think it was just that one dude, but I'm very carefully. All right, so we got Ashley Johnson and Arthur Jenkins. We want both of these people. Okay, we got a bug when we did that second person. Invalid cast. Aha, here's our button issue. That I had a feeling we're casting something. I wonder why it didn't happen on the first person. Where is this? 70. For each researcher, this is the H box here. Container. Would you fuck off? Come on. Okay. We're missing some namespaces. We sure are. Okay, where's this one? Gonna need that. So I started using the namespaces how they're supposed to be used, except the problem is there's some stuff that they share. So I have the map editor namespace and I have the player space, and then they share a couple of things, and then I got other issues. Rude mod is mod? What do you mean? I canceled my Twitter thing when Elon turned in. Well, I guess he was always kind of a dipshit, but I canceled it around, after a while of listening to Elon's bullshit. Um, but I didn't have any I didn't have any followers or whatever they're called uh, on Twitter anyways, and I didn't really use it, so it wasn't a big deal to me. All right, we have these two people again. I guess we never tested two people. We kind of half-assed it. Okay, so we have one. Lois's research is null. Really? Oh, it is. I guess we didn't get the bug there. So now we have the two people here, except it's saying John Smith. We're not setting this right. Oh, I know what's going on. It's because we changed it. It's trying to set something. We commented that out. That's fine. We will fix this in a second. All I wanted to do was see these buttons. These check boxes. That was all of that was just to see the two check boxes next to each other. And you might notice I'm like kind of looking around. I don't think I like that. It's hard to tell which one's which. It's good enough though, I think, for now. So let's go back to this. Let's fix that stuff I commented out here, wherever the fuck it went. Yeah, that is a really annoying. I mean, it did that a little bit in Unity too. I'm back to this comment. It did a little bit in Unity, but it didn't have like these wall of texts that. And the problem is, you can probably turn that off. But occasionally I'll look at that shit, and I'm trying to think of a place where where's a good example of that wall of text? It will happen and I'll remember to do it later, but all right, let's put this back. This is going to be researcher button. You know what? This shouldn't be an H box though. Now that we just did all this. This should be research. What did I call this thing? Assigned. It should be this, and this should be this. After all of that, and this should be this, and this should be this. He's just such a doofus. We're talking about Elon here again. He's just such a doofus, and now he's like deep into the right wing Nazism, and it's just like, come on, dude. Okay, so this thing is now we're gonna put the button in here, whatever the fuck I called this. Then we're gonna put text here, and then I'm gonna put this equals down here just so we can see it better. And then this, it's close enough. All of that. I think we're gonna have another issue though, but maybe not. It might fix, or the invalid thing might come back. You know, that could be like, so it's so this is like, I bought my other computer that I stream video games from, Origin PC, and don't ever buy a fucking computer from those jackasses. But I actually, there was the last thing I did on Twitter was I wanted to tweet at them that they were pieces of shit. And so I searched Origin PC's Twitter account, and I noticed it had the blue checkbox, and I immediately thought, oh, these guys are even more pieces of shit than I thought. And then I was like, well, I don't have any proof that a blue checkbox means that you're a piece of shit on Twitter. And I was like, that's an unreasonable expectation. It's a company. They might want to be able to do the blue checkbox so that people think that they're they're legitimate or whatever, you know. And this is after Elon, after you could pay for the blue checkbox. Well, nowadays, it's like that's the thing. If you have a blue checkbox, you know that you're a right wing piece of shit. That's just how it is now. If you're paying for a blue checkbox on Twitter. So I'm like, okay, I'm justified in my thought that these people with blue checkbox are shitbags. That's not why I disliked Origin PC. I disliked them because they gave me a piece of shit computer and they wouldn't fix it. They wouldn't listen to what I was saying. When I told them that it had problems, they're like, that's not the problem. I'm like, that is the problem. Anyway, don't ever buy a PC from those pieces of shit. What did we just do? We just changed this again. Let's assign one person, see if we get any bugs. Elizabeth Green. Yeah, that looks kind of lame. Let's make it so that it's checked. Let's do it before this thing though. We're gonna put it here. Researcher button, checkbox, button pressed. So is it, oh yeah, it's equals true. I'm an IT manager and I fuck around with computers for work. And I've built every computer that I've owned for the past 20 years. And I just didn't want to build another one. No, it's a desktop. And I just didn't want to build another one. And I looked at like the pricing and I was like, the pricing seems somewhat similar. Like it was a little tiny bit more expensive for Origin PC, but I just didn't want to go through the process of, I just wanted a computer that showed up, I plugged the shit in, and I could use it. I've spent so much fucking time on that thing, as you know, troubleshooting it, that it's way beyond. Like it's like thousands of dollars of my time. It's beyond the value of the computer at this point. And if I had built it myself, I would know. And this is so the problem is the motherboard. There's an issue with the motherboard, but for them to swap out the motherboard means they have to take everything off, and they're too lazy to do that. Uh, they know that, and so their whole he got me on a diatribe about these shitbags. Their whole business model is we're going to make it so annoying for you to fix your computer that you eventually give up. And I've been arguing with these guys, and I gave up. And I eventually just gave up. I was like, fuck it, I don't even want to deal with these guys. In the IT world these days, if you have an issue with your computer, they send a person to you. And they're like, no, we don't do that. We rather have you ship your computer, which costs hundreds of dollars because it's got to be in a fucking crate and packed all perfectly because it's an expensive computer. And it takes like a month to ship the fucking thing to them. Then they dick around with it for a month, then they ship it back. I'm like, man, I can't not have my high-end computer for 3 fucking months. And they're like, well, then just have a broken computer. So anyways, yeah, fuck those guys. Anyway, so what are we doing here? This should be pressed. Then let's go back to here. And make sure that worked. And go to here. Go to here. Assign Jose Foster. And now that's checked. Let's just add someone later. I don't think I've ever done that for this test. We'll assign recruit a person. And then that's checked as we wanted. This is unchecked. We're going to go back to research here. We're going to assign this person. And that doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty obvious because this one's here that this is what we want. So let's go back and now write the code for when this unchecks. But this is the code I was talking about. That it's going to be a duplicate on that other thing. So we'll use this research thing here, we'll go public void remove researcher. I'm thinking about how we're going to do this. That was that long pause there. When we, so over on this thing, on our, where did this thing, we're going to have private void remove researcher checkbox pressed. And we're going to go like that. We're going to go, I don't think, you know, it's going to force me to put a toggle in here, I'm pretty sure. But I don't think we actually need that toggle. So that, I just was so tired. So, and that's the thing, is it was because I wanted to be lazy. And I knew, this is the other funny thing, the other time I bought a pre-built computer, it was, this is like in 1995 or something. My friend said, I've been to this place and they have like the best pre-built computers. And back in the day, I think it was actually called Byte Magazine. Now that, you know, which goes with your name there. He would go into Byte Magazine, which was like on newsprint, and it was like really thick, but mostly it was just ads. And you would go through there and you'd find like the advertisement for the computer you wanted, but it would be like the prices with the specs, and you would pick the specs on this newspaper thing. Then you would go in this Byte Magazine, you'd bring in your Byte Magazine, and you would be like, this is the one I want. And they would put it all together while you waited, and then they would give you the computer and you left. So I'd built a computer before that, and I hated it because I didn't really know what I was doing back then. And my friend was like, this place is the best, we should go here. And so I picked my specs and we went in and I ordered my computer, and the guy took like my order, and they had this door back to where they worked on the computers, and he opened the door up like this tiny crack and like wiggled through and then closed the door. And I thought that was very suspicious. Like my brain was like, why wouldn't he just open the door like a normal person and go in? Like, what is he hiding back there? So anyways, I got my computer, and it would overheat all the time. Just at random times it would overheat. And I finally you know, this is pre-internet too, so you couldn't just like Google why is my computer overheating. But I finally was like, I got to figure out what's going on. And they basically overclocked the computer to meet the specs that I paid for. And when I went to go like back to argue with them, they had closed shop and moved to a different name. So I've bought pre-built computers twice in my life that were like supposedly high end, and both of them have been shitty, and I should have known. I should have known better. Anyways, remove researcher checkbox when pressed. So this is what I think we can do. We will say check researcher checkbox has been unchecked, because it's really just a button disguised as a thing. And then we're going to see, I don't think this is going to work, having it over here. I don't think that's going to work. Let's make one work, and then like, you know what we also need to do here is we need under here, we need to have what researcher it is. So we're going to need a private, nope, we're going to need a public county population. And this will be researcher. We could just call it county population, I suppose. County population. And then go back over to where we're assigning this stuff. Where was that? It totally could have been like he didn't want people to see that they had all this like very expensive computer equipment. They didn't want to get robbed. But I thought it was just strange, like a strange maneuver, and I should have been like, no, I don't want. uh, and it is crazy too that in that time period you would wait. You'd like place your order and they'd be like, all right, 15 minutes, like go get some food and come back, because there's like a strip mall. And they would like, who's the poor bastard in the background who's slamming these computers together? Obviously back then also though it was a lot simpler. You could buy like a coprocessor that they put on top of your chip, your CPU, and that was the thing. So it wasn't like building it to the point. They probably had them, half built, and they just slapped on if you paid for that or what. I don't think graphics cards were a thing back then. I think it was just the coprocessor. Um, I don't remember graphics card being a thing. Like maybe they were a thing that existed, but they were all like very. It wasn't like now where like that's the big thing. I wish I kind of still have that computer to look at it, because it was big and it was in one of those beige boxes and it was a piece of junk. It ran fine, and after I turned off the overclocking and it didn't overheat anymore and it didn't actually have any issues. And it still ran everything fine. It was just the overclocking was insane for the time period. Like that was also a thing you did not do back then. What we want to do here then is we want to go assigned researcher button dot county population is going to equal this county population. So that will assign that to there. Then back to our button. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear out that currently research item is going to equal null. We're just going to clear that out. And then we also want to blow away. So when you hit this checkbox, we want to delete basically this thing that I was just on. This child, this button right here. So I'm thinking we could assign this button. Is there an easier way to do that? I think we'll just assign this button. This thing will know what it's. Actually, it already knows what it is. What am I thinking here? It will just blow itself away. It will just commit suicide. I feel like that's all we need there. Besides the signal, of course. This signal, of course. It doesn't even need to turn that on. Emits when the button was just toggled between pressed and normal state. I wonder if I can just use pressed instead. Oh, I gotta build this thing. Yeah, so, and I remember RAM, I think you could install it backwards. I know you can install the CPU wrong. No, you couldn't install the CPU wrong, but you can install the power that went to the CPU backwards. Like it wasn't, how like now when you try to put the power things in, there's like a notch, so you can't put it in backwards. I think we just want this to be pressed. And now that I did hit build, right? No, I guess I didn't. Oh, you know why? Because I have this in here. I think we can just do pressed. Let's see if that works. Because I don't really care about the toggle part. It's, like I said, it's a trick. Let's see if this works here. Voodoo and 3D FX sounds so familiar. Voodoo doesn't. 3D FX sounds really familiar. Okay, Nicole Murphy is up here. This is checked, and it blows that thing away. Then we need to also have it check for this assigned researchers thing. Except, I bet you if we go back, I think there's a list this is on. So we need to remove this list. Let's go back and come in here. I bet you it's, no? But that assigned researcher should have gone. So there is a list somewhere that I need to also remove. Assigned researchers, which is county population. I wonder if I can just remove it from without like telling it its index. Assigned, oh, research control. Assigned researchers, remove. And then we also need to fire the thing that this check for researchers. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make this one code because they're going to be too different. One code block. A Pentium. I think that's what it was dangerous. This having the power in backwards, it blew up your motherboard. And it was like, why did they let you do that? I think it was a Pentium actually. Oh, did I get a debug thing in there? Let's see. Let's assign a researcher. Lori Davis. Okay, that all worked. Let's just click on some stuff. Oh. Okay. There's got to be a better way to do this where it... where we don't have to... In fact, it shouldn't have shown that person because they're researching. Oh, but they aren't on the list? Huh. Yeah, there's got to be a way to make this kind of like do it on its own. Update these activities, but I guess they don't really know what they're doing. We could put in like a getter setter for that thing. Maybe I need like a... I don't know what their how to do it, but there's a thing. I think it's called an interface. An interface defines a contract, and any class record or struct that implements that contract must provide an implementation of the members defined in the interface. That means nothing to me. This means nothing to my C# knowledge. I think this is what we need, though. All right, I'm going to put a note in my... All right, so what I'm thinking of is... So we have these activities that the heroes could be doing, and the population can be doing like working, researching, like shit like that. But they're all wildly different. Like researching is way different than war. Is it way different? It's somewhat different than researching or than working. Researching is somewhat different than researching. Construction is somewhat different. It's not that different actually, but it's somewhat different. And then movement, which is wildly different. And so in the county population, this is what I'm just thinking about right here. Where's my county population? So I have all these activities, like they have their current activity, which is a string, so that when we look at their like description or whatever, we can see like what they're doing over here, and also over here, you can see that they're idle. Um, but the problem is, so I'm manually assigning these just like when they change. And then I have like this current activity, but what I was just thinking of is what happens if we just had like this interface or whatever the fuck it's called an activity, and it can be assigned to these different things. So like the activity would be this interface. I could be using this completely. Are you substituting inheritance? Um, I don't know. I don't know what that is. so it could be this thing, and then we would assign like work to it, or we would assign research to it, and that would have some code in it that would also control the text strings of what they were doing. And because otherwise we're going to have, well, the county improvement would work. No, it's going to be bizarre. I'm going to have to look in how to do that. I'm going to have to do some tutorials. C#, I think it's an interface. Interface? Because you like assign interfaces, I think. What was I looking at the other day? Maybe you're looking to pass abstract. Pass abstract. There was this thing. I watched this video about, I think it was interfaces. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I was like, oh, this is something I need to learn. And I watched this video and I thought to myself, why would I ever need this? But it's what I'm talking about. And I think, what they default constructor. Oh, look at that. What the? Oh, he just wrote it differently than I do. And day counter. And it was like a cool idea that this guy was the tutorials about, but I was like, I'll never need this. What is it? What is the point of this? But it turns out, like, I think that's what yeah, exactly. I'm on the I see part right now, but now I can't remember what it was called. But instead of getting bogged down trying to figure that out right now, I'm gonna make this more clear though. I'm gonna put a description in here for myself. A C# method that I can assign the different activities such as working, researching, or moving. Moving is the big one that would be very, very different. But the beauty of this idea would be that if there's nothing assigned to it, it would just default back to like null. We could just null it out and it would be idle, and then we wouldn't have to be assigning these idle shit. Because this is, like I said, it's pretty much constant that I run into a spot where I need to update this later. And in fact, when we looked at this whole thing, it says researching on the current activity, but the next day's activity is idle. In fact, it should be researching. And what we can do if this idea, I know this exists, I just need to learn how to do it. But what we could do in there is have in researching, it could be checking, it can do the math to see if there's enough research for the next day. Um, and in fact, this shouldn't even be assigning it as the current thing. It should be assigning it as the next thing. So there's another problem. This should be next activity. And in fact, I changed something else to a current act. Jesus Christ. Okay. We're gonna have a lot of bugs here. But this does do what we want it to do. Um, County population. And so it also, it goes, this thing that I'm talking about also goes back to that, what is it called? The one with the ducks. The observer pattern? No, it's not there's strategy pattern. It's not the strategy pattern. There's another thing. Um, God damn it. It's a pattern in C. I don't think it's just in C sharp. I think it's uh, patterns. It's a software design pattern. A motif. Structural patterns. It's none of these. Behavior patterns. Uh, none of this means anything to me. Factory. No, it's called like the strategy pattern or something. I don't know. The programmer pattern ducks. The rubber ducky debugging theory is it's not a debugging theory. It is called the strategy pattern. This is what I was talking about. They're always talking about ducks. Oh, see, here's an abstract method. Well, it's when I first started doing this, someone said, because I was talking about something, who the fuck knows? They were like, what you need is the strategy pattern. And so what the strategy pattern is that you have like these objects, I'm going to call them, where there's things that are assigned to them, like this duck can swim and it can quack, and then there's like you display the duck. And the things that are assigned to it make it a duck. It's not that you say it's a duck, it's the things that assign to it cause it to be a duck. I don't know. People who have more knowledge about this. But anyways, I think that with the interface thing, it kind of works in with the strategy thing. I just feel like this is really error prone. This because I already know I fucked one of these up. I know I did it yesterday, I think. So this one should be. See, this is going to be weird now. So their current activity is idle. No, that one's right. That one's right. So let's go to the next. Here's where I fucked it up. But the problem with that, wherever that was, the thing I just said it was fine, that actually isn't fine. I think we want this to be next. So how it works is they don't actually start working on shit till the next day. So that's what that's a different. Those are all gonna be fine because they're old. Well, I guess we'll just have to see how it doesn't work. We're gonna have to bug hunt. You know, it's funny is I actually played some RimWorld before I started streaming. Uh, but I love RimWorld, but I haven't played it in a long time. I just burned myself out on it. But I played because there's that update, um, that anomaly DLC dropped, as they say these days. Um, but yes, I like strategy games a lot. Obviously, you know, because I'm attempting to make one here. Uh, but I'm gonna take a quick break. How about you? What type of games are you into? I'm gonna put my break timer up here. Um, and I gotta find my thing here. All right, I'm gonna be back in less than 5 minutes. I did only play RimWorld for like 30 minutes, but I played it for like 30 minutes last night too. Continuing my sentence from before I went on break. Let's see here. Okay, so that works. Let's test it again. I feel like it shouldn't work. Well, we'll also want to check Um, Space engineer. You know, I have that on my list. I think it's on my wish list. It's somewhat older, right? It's not like really old, but let's assign someone here. Have you checked out astronauts? That's like a. Then let's unassign. And that thing, I don't really like how that moves around, but I guess that's fine. Oh, this is still checked, but we're not going to worry. We're going to do that next. No, we're going to do that. Fix that now. That's a different. You know what we could do? Yeah. This is what we're going to do instead. Because this is bullshit. Now I have like 5 places I have to do this to. We're going to make this a getter setter here. Yeah, we're going to make this a getter setter. I'm going to rename that thing. Rename this thing. Whoops, except for with the correct thing here. Then we're going to go, this is going to be private. And this is going to be public. Current, come on. Come on. And then we're going to go. And then we're going to go. And then we're going to go. That's, I forgot that one day. And man, that was causing some problems. If current research data is equal to null, then we'll just set the activities here. Because otherwise, so there's a couple of things. We'll have it do the all of that shit from here. Hopefully. Next activity, which will, well, not two equals, will equal all text dot activities dot idle, and then we'll go. That was county info panel or whatever. I think it's like the hero, generate hero panel list. But we got to put that if in here, that thing we had earlier. If county info panel instance visible equals true. And then we'll move this shit up here. Then what else did we just do in here? So this can go away. Check for researchers. I think we can put that in here too, but we're going to have to do the same thing. If I think we do that. And I'm pretty sure the only time we need to do this is if it's null. We might want to add stuff to this later, but let's see what that does. We need to also actually go to this other spot where I was about to just change stuff. You know what we could do, actually? Well, this should be able to go away then. I don't know. There's probably some other place we can do this, but I don't want to look through my code because I'm lazy. And then we're gonna have that problem where I have like all this duplicate shitty code somewhere. Let's assign. Well, we got an issue here. This is happening too fast. Yeah, this is happening too fast. I haven't. You're talking about the IDE or whatever those things are called. I haven't tried it. It costs money to do the C# thing, I think, or whatever. It costs money. It costs money. um, have you tried out the new anomaly thing? Don't spoil it. I just started playing. Like probably played an hour of it. In RimWorld. So what's happening is this thing doesn't exist yet. Um, when this is being set to null at the beginning of when the program runs. Um, I actually went back to vanilla just for this with the new DLC. Um, I usually mod the shit out of it, and I think I was playing a little bit somewhat recently. I was playing a little bit of it with modded multiplayer, and it was the issue I was having is they had changed so many things. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like shelves. I know shelves have been in there for years, but they didn't. Last time I played, the shelves didn't work. I don't think this is right. Do I have another getter setter somewhere? Here we go. Is army leader. Yeah, this isn't right. But this needs to be up here. I wonder if that will solve that issue. It does not. So the problem is that this gets hit before this thing gets this equals something, and it exists in there. I mean, I've used it a ton of times, but it's when the program runs, basically, it's going through and it's like, oh, this is null, so we got to do this. Um, oh, I wonder if I can do like that question mark thing. that question mark thing that I don't know what this is. I think that if this works, it should go to the next one and croak. The next, oh, I think this will work. That question mark thing, I don't know what this is called. Okay, that worked. All right, back to here. Assign a researcher. Their ass researcher has been assigned. So now we're going to make this thing null. Okay, it did not check for the assigned researcher, though. Does this not do what I think it does? No, it does. Back to my county population. This is definitely visible. We need that open. We're going to need to fix that other thing, too. Wonder why that isn't working. Research control. Is that not this thing? Main. Research. Oh, we want remote. And we want to go to this. Yeah, that thing's visible. Let's see if this is just not working. Like, maybe it's getting here. Visibility check on current research item data. SS13. I don't know what SS13 is. So that's been a regular thing that I've thought as well, like especially like there's some games where there's mods that vastly improve the game, and like why can't they pay the modders to ingest that into the real game? And it's a weird thing, and sometimes I think it's greed. They can just keep releasing the game and the modders work for free. But that guy seems like he's pretty. All right, we close this. Oh, this thing is, the assigned researcher thing is off. I think there's something wrong here. If assigned researcher.count equals 0, am I removing somebody when I shouldn't be removing them? I thought I just... We haven't checked this. Except, wait, research box unchecked. going to do this again. Yeah, like there used to be that RimWorld mod. I don't know if it still exists. The one where you could get to your spaceship and like do stuff inside your spaceship. Like that one, and I forget what it was called. Um, I feel like I'm removing this from the list wrong. That there's now I've done something. I've removed somebody at the wrong time here. Uh, assigned researchers count. Good God. Count equals. So like that would be an example of like I feel like modders should get paid. And the other problem is that modders stop working on mods that are amazing sometimes because they just get burned out. But if they were getting paid, I feel like that would help. That would help them not get burned out. There's like that. There's a medieval mod for Rim World. There's two of them, but the one that looks better than the other one is no longer being developed. Assigned researcher count is 0. So let's go back here. And okay, so that title is missing, which is what we want. And then back to Susan Foster. Okay, we've assigned them. I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. So on here, this needs to be checked all the time. As long as this is visible, because the check for researchers is done, it doesn't matter. But if this thing changes, we need to have it checked for, regardless of if it's null or not. That's the problem there. Um, and I know, hey, Lord Mac, how's it going? We were just talking about modding and paying modders. And I know that I think that I always want to call him Tyler. His name isn't Tyler, though. But the main RimWorld guy, I think he's pretty. Oh, it still didn't do it. Somehow my list is fucked up too. I fucked up my list. That's what's happening here. Generate assigned researchers. The fuck is this song? Yeah, and so Paradox Games specifically Tynan. Yeah, that's his name. Paradox Games. So the one of the best modders, I installed his mod. He is like a critical asset to the CK3 modding community, and I can't remember his name. But he made the Way of the Kings mod, and he's like the go-to guy. He's done shit with CK3 that is basically I think I took it out of here. I think I took the list. Generate assigned. No. Uh, so I loaded up Way of the Kings recently, and there's a pop-up that says like, "Hey guys, I'm fucking burned out on this shit." He didn't say fucking, but he said, "I'm burned out on this shit. No one helps me. If you guys can help me, that'd be great. Otherwise, this mod is falling. It's gonna be gone." Um, okay, here's the ad one. So there's where it's added. Where am I removing? I must be removing this, and but that's the checkbox. I think somehow. All right, remove research checkboxes. I bet you like that's getting fired somewhere. No, I don't see it. It got to the visibility check on, but the assigned researchers count is getting turned off. So what I think is happening is when this is getting pressed, and so it's firing that signal, which is causing this to happen. I'm not seeing this GD print though. um, and it actually isn't happening because otherwise we wouldn't see this thing. So what is up with this list suddenly not working? Pressed equals true. See, this is where it's happening. That's setting that signal off. Why aren't I getting this in the print? What is this thing called? What did I call it? It's happening as I think. I'm pretty sure. Not there. Um, you know, there's an easier way to do this too. We just started out pressed. The way the Kings mod is a mod for that Brandon Sanderson series. I can't remember the name of this series, but it's like some massive um, series of books, and there's like crab people. All right, this still doesn't. This still is saying 0. Um, and there's like Tetris in it. Like you literally can play Tetris in it. Um, in the mod. Is it Tetris or is it? I don't know. There's all these like little games and stuff. So he's like the guy that the other modders would come to and be like, "How do I do this?" Um, they're people though. They're just crab people. I wonder if there's a picture of them. When I loaded it up the other day, they look wildly different. Way of the King mod crab people. Okay, this is they don't look like that. It would be a weird um, it'd be a weird thing that I guess there would be a picture from it. Anyways, it's like there's magic and there's like dungeons. There's like you can go into a dungeon in it, and there's like a what is the name of that game? Darkest darkest dungeon? I don't know, but you know the side combat with your guys. Um, I got to figure out why this thing is suddenly at 0. What is the deal? What have I done? Generate assigned. Maybe it never worked and I just wasn't paying attention. If assigned researchers count equals 0, we hide the thing. And this is getting to 0. So there has to be a remove in here somewhere. Let's search for that. I saw the one remove, but there should be... Let's comment this. I think it's this thing. I think this is getting pressed at some other spot. I think this all went bad when I added that signal. So we assign. Well, let's close this before we assign. All right, it's missing, which is what we want it to be. It's still missing. And it still thinks, okay, so maybe I'm not adding it anymore. Except there it is. And we know it's working because Errol Hill is up here. All right, this is what we'll do. We're going to go back to this thing. We're going to put this bool back in here. And then we'll go if toggled equals false. I was trying to not do this. I didn't think I needed it. We're going to rename this thing. Then we're going to go like this. I don't know what's going wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it's this signal. We're going to remove this thing. We're going to build this thing. Then we're going to go connect this. And we're going to put this back. And it's going to start out like that. We're going to ignore those things because those things, they're the boy who cried wolf shit going on there. All right, researcher. It's missing the assigned thing. Elizabeth Moore. It still thinks that there's 0. So at that point, there should not be 0. Make sure we can see this thing here. Oh, we need a $sign in front of here. Assigned researchers count. This is assigned researchers. This is the thing. This is the thing that is the problem. But why does it think that there's no assigned researchers? But then when we go to here, this thing, okay, so this is a different list that it's getting this from? Is that what's going on? Assigned researcher in select researcher researcher count. I wonder if it has to do with that search control count. Can't see what's going on over there. I wonder if it has to do with this getter setter somehow fucking shit up. I don't have any. Like, I know that would fire something, probably. Okay, so assigned researcher is, so it's 0 there, but it's 1 here. I see the problem. I see the problem. The problem isn't that they're not getting assigned. This is happening before. This is happening before the list is getting updated. Why does everything have to be so in such specific order, you know? So where are we assigning this shit? Why does everything have to be such? Because that's how this shit works. That's. So let's put this guy up here. This is the Jesus fucking Christ. Imagine if you could just throw the code in there in any willy-nilly old order, and it worked. One day, right? Okay. Assign Clarence Phillips. There they are. Jesus Christ. Right? Okay, so now that doesn't work. So when we uncheck that, it should check this again. So the problem is we're unchecking that. And this is happening too fast again. We need this to always be before this thing. So one more time. Basic, where you, so basic, in like DOS, you would number everything, you'd be like 10, 20, 30, 40. And that shit was hard to get things to, and then you would have like a go-to statement and be like, go to 10, and then you could do a loop that way. Okay, we got our assigned researchers. We did it. Now we have all this code in here that we don't need. All of these things. All of these print things. All right. So what the fuck was I doing? Okay, now we're back to, so that works how I want it to work, but now we got to get this other checkbox to do the same thing, sort of. This other checkbox being this one. So if we assign somebody here, this is checked. So on here, I used to go over to my friend's dad worked for Intel, and I don't know what he did there. I think he was a programmer, but I used to go over to my friend's house and we would like try to make like text adventures in BASIC, and we had no, like, so we could ask his dad questions, you know what I mean? Like, how do you do this? But he was a very quiet guy, so not the best instructor. He was more of like a read the fucking manual type of guy, but they weren't really. This also, once again, pre-internet. So, all right, this checkbox thing is under here. And I started, yeah, here it is right here. So we can pin this temporarily. We can go back to here. So this is very similar. This is going to be the same thing. So I don't know if we do want to um, if we do want to just combine this into some code. I thought this was going to be a lot different, but it's actually pretty much the same. You know, when I started my current job, which is like 11 years ago, he had the old IT guy had this big cabinet filled with these books that were so outdated, and I asked like the owner, like, hey, can I recycle these books because they're incredibly outdated and not useful. And he was like, why would you want to recycle those books? Like they're, you know, and they were like how to fix a computer 101, and you know, they were like this thick, and like, and I think I have an old one on my shelf over here just for, you know, nostalgic reasons, but they were totally useless at this point. You know, when I was talking about like you could put the power thing in backwards and stuff, it had like stuff like that, you know, because there was no internet when they came out, and they were useless for my job. But the owner didn't want me to throw them away or recycle them. Um, and so what instead I did is I just recycled them on the sly. Like once a month, I would just recycle a couple until I got rid of the whole shelf. It's pointless. I needed the shelf space for other stuff. All right, so we can assign this guy. He's assigned there. Then we go over here. And that's done something. Now we don't have anybody assigned anymore. So we can assign him again. All right, so that works. The problem, I think, was we probably should just have this in our research thing that I started to work on, and then I think it'll be easier if we just go. There's all this shit open. Here we go. If we just put this research instance remove researcher. Guess you can't go around the world there. And then we'll put this in here because this is identical code, and like I just don't want to have duplicate code if I can. Where is this fucking thing? This was under here. Nope, it's under here. And then, yeah, the guy whose job I took over was quite oh oh we could just put in a county population. He was kind of a jerk. I took him for beers on his last day because I felt bad that I was taking his job. And he didn't even say thank you for the beer or anything. Oh, you know what he said? He said, if you have any issues going forward, don't ever contact me. I said, okay, dick. I understand where he was coming from to a point, but after, you know, like, I don't know. All right, final test. Okay, maybe not the final test for this. Helen Lopez. You're no longer a researcher. I really don't like that thing bouncing around like that, but who gives a shit, right? There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, there's a lot we can do about it, but we're not going to do anything about it. All right. Assign researcher, Helen Lopez. You're up there at the top. Uncheck you here. Go back to research. You're no longer assigned any research. All right. Did we ever fix this other thing? We did. All right. There we go. So that was the thing. I think that was this unassign a researcher from research. Close that issue. Add a checkbox on the button in the assign a research. Yeah, we just did that. Get rid of that thing. Click on a researching here in the research panel. Should bring up the research they are researching. So let's see. What we're talking about here is Margaret Brooks. This is a button. So we need to, when we click on this, we want to bring up the description. This actually shouldn't be that, I've cursed myself. This shouldn't be that hard. This button is this thing, which is what we already were working on. It's a button. So we have it right here. We need to create a thing for it. Assigned researcher button. And what we're going to do is go research, description panel, instance, show. But before we do that, we got to make sure that this thing, I'm pretty sure it has a research item. It does. So where was this thing? We're going to go instance. Is this going to work? I think it might. Research item data equals county population, current with a capital C. And then we got to connect a signal here. We got to build this thing first. Then we got to save. That was already saved. Let's try this one more time. We're going to ignore that thing down there. We're going to assign a researcher, Evelyn Taylor. Oh, look, that thing worked where you can't assign another researcher because there aren't any. I don't know why I'm so shocked. Look, it worked, the code that I wrote. Let's turn this off. Well, that's basically all I wanted it to do. I guess we're done. It was just 2 lines. Close this. My code worked. Weird. All right, so what this is talking about is when we look at this research here, it says cost is 0 of 500. It should say 500 research points or something. But also, there's 2 problems here. I actually added this before I started streaming too. We need a progress bar of how much has been researched. And we need that in 2 different spots. So I want it here in the description panel, but also on here, I think we want a progress bar on here so you can easily see what shit is. Maybe we could even get rid of this checkbox and just have the progress bar. So let's start with this thing's progress bar. And that will fit. We'll also fix the cost thing because that's dumb. The cost thing's dumb. Does it cost 0 of 500? That doesn't make any sense. It should just say 500, and then down here it should have the progress bar. So let's go. Let's work on this little guy first, which is close these things. Hopefully, we need our this. We need our this, and we need to add a progress bar on here. And I think it's not. Oh, it is called that. Let me load up my other game. I'm using a progress bar in my other game, and I don't know if it's a texture one or I think it's a texture one, and I think the texture one is what we want. And that is under a demon would have one. It's right there. Texture progress bar. I think we want it to have, I don't know what the other one looks like. Godot progress bar. Why do they never have pictures of what I'm looking at here? Nope, not a timer. Maybe we'll just do this one actually. This looks like this is the I think this one actually is gonna work. It's pretty bland and ugly, just like I always like, right? So we'll do a progress bar. And we'll go back to here. At the top? I was thinking at the bottom, but maybe we want it at the top. What is this thing? This is a container. I don't have any like H boxes or anything. I just like toss this shit in here and it worked. I don't know if we need this checkbox anymore. If we do a progress bar, the checkbox was just to show that it was finished. What is this thing? This is a panel container, huh? But what we'd want in here is a V box, I guess. And then we would put in the whole thing is a button. Is that right? Yes. And then we would put this progress bar. Well, now I've fucked everything up. We need this. We need this button. How did I do this before? I think we actually... It looks like we have the button. Would we want the progress bar to be clickable? Turn this thing off just to get it out of here. You know, the good thing is we can just swap this to see what it looks like. And that will... I think the bottom might be better. I don't think we need this checkbox anymore. But let's see how this looks first. We'll leave this invisible just for now. Um, you wouldn't be able to click on the progress in this particular circumstance, which is not the end of the world. Let's open this thing up, though. And let's put in export private progress bar. Then let's put this thing over here. Let's build this. And I was waiting patiently, but I didn't have to. What does this progress bar look like? What I mean is not what it actually looks like, but is the... Okay, there's min value, max value. And then is this like... Okay, easy enough. This is very similar to the other one. I want you to be 0. Go back to 0. Okay, so what we would do here, and we have a research item data. Let's go back to where we are. Is our texture still there? It is. Check if research is done. Button pressed is going to equal this. We'll get rid of this, and we'll go is going to equal research item max. What did I call this thing? Cost of research, I guess, is what I called it. I'm in the wrong spot. And then research progress bar value equals current. You know, it doesn't need to check. I mean, it's not a check anymore. It's always going to show update if researched. And then I have another thing inside that. Wonder why I have it's like kind of pointless to have amount of research done. And then if I remember correctly, I actually have like a thing that sets this bool. Yeah. So let's look at what this does. We can easily see how this is supposed to work with this. Okay, that's pretty fuck ugly. That's much more ugly than I thought it would be. Okay, so top does look better to me. Man, that shit blends in. I wonder if there's a way if I know this is like just a shitty progress bar, but I wonder if there's a way we can change like it's... Okay, let's add the textured one. And let's go back to here. Textured. Or texture progress bar. Do we need to change anything here? No. Like, why do I have this here? Oh. Well, we can just All right, and then let's see with this thing. I think we got to put a texture in here though. But I think I closed this already. I think you can just generate one, and wait. I can go from memory, right? No, I can't. I think you can just use like a texture thing that comes pre-built in here. I'm gonna take a break though. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break right now. I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw out my break timer. All right, I'll be right back. All right, let me see. Texture thing. Yes, a texture thing. I gotta look up what it is. This texture thing is. Um, a noise check texture 2D. Um, no, I already have that. What is this thing though? A gradient. That's what it is. A gradient in a noise. Noise? Gradient? Why do I have that there? Why don't I get rid of that? Um, what was it? I already forgot. Gradient. 2D. Let's put it at 50. How the fuck did I do this? I did this a long time ago. It was a long, long time ago. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right. Where was that? I just clicked on it like 12 seconds ago. What is this ugly shit, though? Um, white's fine for under. Progress, though, we'll want it. I think green. Green sounds good. I need it. How do I get to green? Here's some green. Not that dark, though. That doesn't look green. Um, let's make it real. Why isn't this working? Maybe I have to change. That's why this other thing is set. What did I put this as? Jesus Christ. A noise. Why did I have to have this noise thing under here? I don't know. I watched some tutorial. Some dumbass's tutorial. Just kidding. Oh. What is going on here? Um, no, I don't want that. I just want this thing to fill up. And why is 50 so low? It should be mid. Oh, I see what's going on. This isn't filling the whole. Man, the other one was so easy. Why is this, though? Gradient is what I want. Widths, oh, it's just, okay, so we gotta, wait, I can't have it fill. Okay, so this is the whole thing, but I don't know the size. I want your gradient is 64. Yeah, I need it to go all the way over, but I don't want to manually. I don't want to manually have it go over. I want it just to stretch. But I don't want to type this shit in here. I want it to just go over. There's got to be some sort of. Now the container's right. Like this one, it just stretched. Yeah, beginning to end. Is there a beginning to end on this one? Doesn't see it. I don't think it's the color. There's something else going on with this, but I wanted to stretch first. I can't make this thing. um, linear. That's the one we want. There we go. So that's that problem, but that's going to give me nothing. What is a repeat? That doesn't do what I want. Um, when using a radial fill mode, this setting will enable stretching. See, that's what I want it to look like, but I want it to not. I don't want to have to type shit in here, basically. Maybe I have to do a minimum size. A minimum size would be okay. Minimum size would be fine, actually. What is this thing size? 400 by 27. Um, that would work. And that's 90? What about 100? That's perfect. In green, that weird green that I picked, that's fine too. There we go. All right, so let's put this, well, we can leave it at that. Actually, that will let us know if there's anything going wrong. Let's do this again. If it's at 50%, we know that there's something wrong. And then we'll delete this other progress bar once this works or doesn't work. Okay, this did not work. What values do we need to check here? I already renamed that one thing. You know what the problem is, I think? Did I redrag this in here? I didn't. This needs to go in here. There we go. Colors are complicated, though. The weird blackest black thing. Have you guys heard about that whole? There we go. Okay, so we want this thing to show as nothing, though. Well, there's nothing in here. I guess there's no border is the issue. So let's go back to this. Man, the one progress bar was so much easier. We can close this. We'll need that. So we do want a tint, like, is this black the black? No. Let's reset that over here. That seems like it should be. Allow greater, allow lesser. We don't care about that. Oh, so that's what that thing was for. What that other thing was for, what the fuck was it? My under texture was not this though. No, it was. It was a texture something. Noise texture. That's what that thing was. Why do I keep closing that? The noise, because every time I close it, I need to look at it again. What the fuck was it? What a pain in the ass. Put this over here on top of chat. On. What was this? Okay, there we go. There we go. Then we put the under here. We don't need an over one. All right, let's try this again. Attempt number 450. Well, that looks terrible. Can we put words on here? Can I put words in here easily? It doesn't look like it. Man, this other one looks so much better. We're going to go with this one. Fuck this other one. What a pain in my ass. What a pain in my ass. It's back to the dev brain thing. We just got to readjust this. They got to make it complicated for no apparent reason. Oh, we got to build this. Yeah, it's so much easier, and you're not gonna let me drag this over here, buddy. All right, one more time. Yeah, that's better, and it's easier. So back to that. That will work for what we want, and so that was actually pretty easy. Now we want to add that though. We want to have this basically the same thing on this page and where it says cost. So let's go back to this other page and go to our description here. Nope, wrong description. Go to our research description and we're going to add another progress bar right not here, right here. And I don't even think we need a cost. Well, let's see here. So it's going to be in here. No, it's not. It's going to be above this or below this. So we're going to do the progress bar. progress bar here. Except we don't want it to be a child. Get out of here, motherfucker. And I don't want it to stretch all the way across like that. On this page, though, we can actually set a value for the size. The reason why I didn't want to set a size on the other one was because we might be like that screen might be changing, but on this one, we're gonna make it smaller enough that it doesn't matter if the screen changes. So we can go. We want to go to. I wonder if we can just tell it. We can do this here. 400 sounds good to me. And we'll put that 27 in here just because. And then we will put, we need this opened up. I think it's already open, but we're going to need a thing in here that is going to be right here. Private progress bar. And we're going to stick this in here. And this is going to go here. And then we're going to delete this. I think this is dumb. So we're going to put this actually up here, but not there. Total cost of research. Where's my 999? There it is. We're going to have you center. We're going to just delete this thing. We don't need this. We have a progress bar that, I wonder, can we change this to the value? Let's see. Instead of a percentage, doesn't look like it. Well, we'll deal with that. Just rename this here, except we probably want to rename it without that typo in there. Okay. So that should do the trick for that, except we need, this doesn't need to be here anymore. That does need to be there. Let's build this and make sure that nothing got fucked up. See? Yeah, I know. I want to get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. Where are you? Show me my bugs. Okay, so on here, we're going to say, value is going to equal, no, that is right, but we're also going to need research bar max value to equal the cost of research. And then we're also going to, that one's fine, except it should be up higher. It should be above that. Then the people will just have to do the math, I guess, in their head. What's 27% of 500? What happened? We got something got jacked up here. What's the actual? Object not set to an instance of an object. Research name. It's a label. We'll just put it in there again. Unless do this again. Oh, we're getting this bug right off the bat here. Let's see what it. The very second I think the very second that I click the button, it appears. I have to go to my friend's house today and feed his cat, and I'm worried about. He texted me at 7 a.m. and said like my cat is meowing, it needs food. He just left yesterday. Research name dot text. Why can't you find this? Oh, you know what the problem is? This stupid thing's open. When I say open, I mean shown. That's like my classic bug there. Okay. Then we go to here, and we still have. Oh no, you should be at 0, and you're at 100%, and the cost is right. The cost is right. All right, let's fix this issue with the assign thing being too. So there's things we can't see in here, and if I leave them in there when I run it, it gets bugs because it's like, what the fuck is this thing? So like the test things in there. So what we just need to do is move this up a little bit. We can actually move it up kind of a lot more. This description panel is still huge. I think I have a minimum size in here. Yeah. I actually would like this to shrink to center. We can make this a little bigger. We can do like 150 here. We can actually make this like 800. See, this is another page though that like we're using up so much of the, we have so much of the page in use, but in reality we're not using that much of it. We'll want to fuck with that at some point. Oh, it's shown. I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and do it in the auto load thing, where it goes through and turns all those things, the right ones, on and off. And you know, then what happens when I add a new one, it will just, and I forget, it will just bug out, but I'll be fine. So here we have 100% progress. Our assign button's missing, which is what we want, and then our assign research button. It still would be nice if this wasn't overlapping this close button. I wonder. I also feel like there's like kind of a large gap between that shit. I might have like some crazy separator in here. Yeah, let's put it to like 10. Let's see what it looks like. That might be, I mean, it's going to overlap the close button regardless, but it would be nice if it did it not so dramatically. Wow, that 10 really. Let's do this. Let's compromise. 15's fine. And I think that's good enough for now. Well, let's run it one more time. Maybe we'll put the assign thing up at the top. All I would have to do is drag it up there. Fingers crossed. Like maybe we put this up the very top or something. Nah, it's fucking fine where it is. The thing is that if you have a 3 or 4 of them, they're gonna overlap this close button again. which isn't the end of the world, but what happens if you accidentally close and all that crap? Uh, I gotta hold myself to the same. Oh, we didn't fix this. To the same standards that I hold the games that I stream on my other channel, right? You know, I can't be like, oh, this guy's shit overlaps, and then on my own. Um, I don't know. It seemed like that was a pain in the ass. That's why I switched it to a texture. Can you do it easily on here? And tell that you're not a U.S. person by the way you say color. I can hear your accent from here. Self-modulate. Let's turn this thing on. Um, self-modulate. I don't even know where that is. Some sort of theme override. Colors. That's font colors. Visibility self-modulate. Is that going to change the whole thing, though? Okay, that's just the word. That's just the percentage. And this is... That's just the percentage. What about if we go to one that has a value in it here? That way we can see what's going on here. That doesn't look like they're independent of the percentage. It's fine for now. Who cares? Who cares, right? So that's done. What else we got? We're knocking out all sorts of shit today. All right, we need to put this number in here. So this cost, instead of the word cost, we can actually just put, this is wrong. This we can just put we can just put research costs. So it's not that I was worried that people were going to be like, you know, what research points or dollars. It's that, you know, what cost is it talking about? So yeah, research costs will actually solve that problem, because there is a cost that for like the cost for the buildings and stuff, and so that's why I wanted to put what that was. It was just a little confusing. Okay, so now I kind of want to, let's look at this resource, because I think I'm doing this resource wrong. And what I'm doing, I think what's going to happen is everyone's going to have the same research. At the time, back when I first set it up, it didn't matter because no one's actually doing any research. But I only have like 30 minutes left, so let's figure out what we're doing here with this pile of dog shit. And it's not that important. We'll need to beautify some stuff at some point, but that's 100 years from now. So this is loading all the faction data, create node. This is just... Okay, so I think all we need to do is put like a duplicate. Oh, there's no dupe. Oh, well, I was spelling it wrong. Duplicate. I can't duplicate. Yeah, so I think we got to do this. Add starting research. Wait, how the fuck am I doing this? Oh, I have a little checkbox in there now. So we would want to. Yeah, no, this is fine. But why does it want me to do this? Oh, I gotta probably cast it as a research item data. I'm just fucking around at this point. um, I don't know. I went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night and slept all the way till 7 a.m. So whatever, 11 hours of sleep. Um, you know, and a lot of times on Sundays, I can't remember how to program at all when I first start streaming, and it takes a couple hours. Today, you know, I didn't have that feeling, so I should do that every day. It's just sleep for 11 hours. Uh, okay, so I think this has to be duplicated because otherwise, it's putting the same resource. They all have the same resource, and I think that just needs to be done, and it was never done before because I didn't really understand how resources worked back when I originally set this up 140 years ago. But let's make sure we don't get any bugs here on the faction generation. And we have, but that's a different bug. That's because this is open here. And let's go to here. I mean, it would have already happened. So let's, you know, let's mark this off as done. And then these things we can work on next time, or I might work on it a little bit offline. But you know what? I might as well just do since I still got. Well, no, we could do that. So let's do this. So there's two different types of researcher. People are also going to research independently. They're just going to add research points. But your heroes are going to research at 5 p.m., like at the end of their day, if they're researching. So how are we going to do that? 20 minutes is enough time for this to fuck around with this. It's plenty. If it was like 5 minutes, we could do the other thing. So on this, on ready, we're going to subscribe to the clock. Events. I think it's called like workday over. Yeah. Work something. What is this? I don't know what that is, but oh, it created a little. That's strange. It's kind of what we want. Get it out of here. Oh, it was setting up for a rename. Huh. All right. What we're gonna do is call this apply research, and then over here we're going to no, let's do this. This needs to be apply hero research. And then we're going to say for each, I don't think we have like a list of all the factions in like just straight up list form. I think we have a different way of doing it. I'm going from memory here. We got to do something. We're going to add here too. We need to have AI factions need to be able to assign research. It's kind of an important thing here. I don't see any more faction data. So the play, no, we have them right here. And it's a Godot array for some strange reason. For each faction data, in globals.instance.faction datas. For each one of those, we're going to go another for each. You know what? No, there's like some stupid hero thing. It's not stupid. It's like all heroes list. That's what it's called. Um, we needed it for something else, but we can actually use it for this. And then we're going to have a county population here. County population in here. So it's going to go through all of the factions. It's going to go through all of their heroes that are in the list. And then we're going to go if the county population activity, current activity. Oh, we got to do something then. We got to set hero activity, current activity. Since it should be getting set for the next activity. This is to be up here. I gotta put this shit in or I'll forget. If their current activity is equal to all text dot activities dot researching, then we can write the code for the skill checks now too. This could be, it's time, right? We can just have one code for skill check. This is back to that whole thing. Like, is an instance, if like the whole thing that I never know what's better. Like an instance where every faction will interact with that same instance, or does we give a skill check thing for, or do we put it like in county population where each county population has its own skill check thing written in here, or should each faction have its own skill check script? Like, what's the best practice for that? Like, is there an issue with having all these things checking the same instance? Like, can they get clogged up? Like, can a faction hero be like, go to check that instance and be like, oh no, somebody's using it already, I guess I wait? Or do they even wait, or do they just give up and go, oh, fuck it, I can't use it? Or, so then you would want to have your own faction have a skill check script attached to it. But then you have all of these floating around skill check scripts that are like using up RAM, I guess. And does that even matter? Or it's probably so insignificant in this day and age that it doesn't matter. And there's no reason to have an instance, what do they call it? A singleton of it. What is going on here? Let's do it under faction data, I think. See, this is where a class in programming would tell you, would be like, yes, this is the best way to do this. Faction data is a resource. But then like the banker thing, we're back to like the banker, why have a banker? Each one should have its own banker. And how was I doing my battle skill checks? Because we'll be swapping to skill checks. Okay, that's not it. This is that dumb thing that I got to get rid of. This is going to be under battle control something. It's a UI. What did I call that thing? Battle control. There's a scene for that. No, there isn't a scene. It's under the county. But I was thinking about generating a scene. I know it's called battle something. Battle log. Oh, here it is. What the fuck is this? Um, this is some useful something there. Obviously, very important. And now have I broke everything? So how are we doing a skill check in here? So this is the attacker. I don't actually remember where this shit is, so it's not. Add log entry. This is just all the adding of logs. Okay, here we go. What is this under? Battle control. Oh, I was under battle control log. Very close. So how are we doing a skill check in here? Because a skill check is pretty standard. It's a roll from one to 100. Attack. Where's my attack? Go to my attack. Yeah, so here is, so we're just like random. We're just doing it right here in the middle. So I'm going to put a note for this. In battle control to use the new skill check code. We're going to put this. I know you're like, this isn't research. It is. This research thing is, like I keep saying, is going to have a bazillion repercussions through the whole code because we're going to clean up a ton of shit as we go along. So let's go back to what I was thinking here. And we're going to have a new script. And we're going to just call it we're going to do a new script called skill check. I think we'll do it this way. And it's going to be a public class. Is it a public class? The fuck? I think it is. Let's see. Namespace. Player space. No. Wait. Well, wait. Let me look at my all text, or even this thing. No, that's not going to do us any good. Let me look at my all text here. Can I just do wait? Let's just see what this does. Oh, except we need some GD printing. Okay, we need Godot after all here. All right, it doesn't like this. So I wouldn't be able to wait. I guess I never do print things. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We don't give a shit. That's fine. Skill check. Oh, I can't print a console then. I mean, that's for my. I don't need it later. I need it for my tests right now, though. So let me think this through, because I think I'm way out in the wind here. What do I normally do with this? Then I have another public class inside of that public class. That seems strange. What? Oh, but it's not. It's not a node. It's not a node, so it doesn't know what GD print is. Okay, there's another way to do this. That's probably a better way. Just get out of here. We don't give a shit. Let's go back over to here. Let's delete this. If we go to our faction data, which I had open, but I think, but I think, what is that? This was doing 2 rows for a while. Oh, there we go. And I kind of like that. And then it went away one day. It appeared one day and went away one day. Look at all this crap that I got open. Load maps, county resources, auto load, player controls, county node, root node. This is what we want, though. Why don't we put this in here? It will be a public void. And I'm running out of time. So we'll do this. See, but if I put it in here, I feel like I should be putting it in the county population, but the county population is a public class. So we wouldn't be able to use GD print there, I guess. I feel like I do that all the time, but I guess I don't. Back to my faction data. No, that's. Do I want it to be on faction? Man, what a like way to cripple myself with indecision. It's just. I just have to make a decision, go with it. And then when problems arise, I can always rewrite the whole game from scratch, right? That's the easiest solution. So originally I was thinking have like a skill check thing in here, but it isn't really necessary to have it here. So we put it at the faction level. Each faction would control its own skill checks. But why even have it at the faction level? People always talk about like helper scripts. What the fuck is that? Like, can I just have this thing sitting somewhere? Because it needs like a node or it needs something in here for me to be able to do GD prints, I think is what I was complaining back about. This just seems like organizationally, that seems like a bad idea to have that there. Like, I'll be wondering, where the fuck are their skill check? Even though it would say faction data.skill checker or whatever. It just seems like a weird place to put it. So, let's, for now, I'll just make a node and stick it on here. Seems dumb, though. I guess none of these really have... I'm going to try this one more time. Here, though, no, diplomacy is a public class, and I have GD prints in here. So what was going wrong earlier? I just was doing it wrong is what was happening. So let's try this again. Skill checks. Public schlublik. This says public class. We get rid of the node. We just need this. Where's diplomacy? Let me put this over here. And then I'm going to call it a day after this. So what's the difference here? We need a namespace, of course. Whoops, we need it to have a namespace, though. And AD. Oh, okay, okay. We need to have a public void in here. That's the problem. And then we call it whatever. That was the problem. What am I hitting? I'm hitting some weird. There we go. It was that I didn't have a method inside of the public class. And I was like in the place for the variables, and it was just like, what are you doing, dude? Okay. I don't want to call this check, but I think that's where we're at for now. So let me put this note in here. This is going to be like a problem we're probably going to run into. I think I set some to current, and so we'll just see. When that happens, we'll deal with it. Okay, and then we're going to have use new skill check public class for skill checks, which is kind of the same thing as this other one. And then we'll have that will be part of Heroes researching, is they're going to do a skill check, and then it will return a bool, and then the bool will be like yes or no, did they pass it or not. And then let's push this over to here. Let's close this, and then let's close this. And we're going to go. What did we do today? I guess we added a progress bar and a getter setter for research items. It was half productive. It was half productive. All of the research, all of those two, research things are working now. That's it. But hopefully, so the goal now is like we're gonna this is gonna be kind of, well, I guess having the heroes being able to research, and then the population is, you're gonna get research from the population regardless, will be a fun thing. I hope it's fun. But anyways, that's it for me. Thank you guys for dropping by, and I will talk